Get ready to uncover a truth that many prefer to ignore. The end of the world, a topic shrouded in mystery and ancient prophecies, is closer than you think. The signs are everywhere, but few take notice. Natural disasters, ongoing conflicts, and the rise of a dark figure, the Antichrist, all point to a plan that's already in motion. You're about to unravel the secrets no one dares to speak of. Are we truly living in the last days of Earth? The answer might be more shocking than you ever imagined. Throughout Scripture, especially in books like Daniel and Revelation, various signs are outlined as precursors to the end times. Among them are natural disasters like earthquakes and storms, along with unrelenting wars and conflicts between nations. However, these signs go deeper than what we see on the surface. The Scriptures also speak of growing spiritual alienation, an era of apostasy where many will turn away from the faith. In a world that seems increasingly chaotic, it's only natural to wonder, are today's events fulfilling these ancient prophecies? Each year, we see a rise in climate disasters and geopolitical tensions. What does this mean in the grand divine plan? As we look around, we witness a world in constant change, often in disorder. Faith and morals seem to be declining, as does the unity between nations. But for those who follow the Scriptures, these events are more than mere coincidences. They are signs of something much greater. The prophets of the Old and New Testaments pointed to a time when the earth would be shaken, and these predictions should not be taken lightly. But are we truly living in that moment? According to many Bible scholars, current conditions may indeed be signaling the approach of the end times. However, it's crucial to understand that the Scriptures make it clear that no one knows the exact day or hour. What we do know is that signs will be given, and it's up to us to interpret them with discernment and care. The question remains, are we truly prepared for what's next? While many ignore the signs or dismiss them as irrelevant, there are those who see them as a call for spiritual awakening. But how do these signs fit into the grand narrative of the apocalypse? And more importantly, how should we respond to them? It's not just about observing the events around us, but about being spiritually ready. As the signs intensify, it will be too late for many. The key here is to realize that these signs are not just warnings of disaster, but an opportunity to reevaluate our lives and our paths. After all, the signs were given not to induce fear, but to prepare the way for redemption. This first step leads us directly to an even more intriguing and perhaps terrifying question for some: the rise of a figure who will play a crucial role in this apocalyptic scenario, the Antichrist. The figure of the Antichrist is one of the most mysterious and feared biblical prophecies. He will be a charismatic leader, endowed with a supernatural ability to win the hearts of the masses. The Bible describes his rise to power as bringing promises of peace and unity, but behind it all he will hide a sinister goal. His global government will be established with a facade of order and prosperity, but will bring deceit and destruction. Many will be seduced by his promises, believing he is the solution to the world's problems, unaware of the danger he truly represents. As he consolidates his power, the Antichrist will use technology, politics, and the global economy to impose his rule over all nations. He will create a unified system that controls every aspect of people's lives, from finances to beliefs. The idea of a global government has been debated for centuries, but the arrival of this evil leader will mark the culmination of a new era of total control. He will offer solutions to seemingly unsolvable crises, which will gain him widespread acceptance. Yet his true agenda will be to destroy everything sacred and pave the way for chaos. The rise of the Antichrist will be accompanied by a series of catastrophic events known as the Great Tribulation. Wars, natural disasters, and persecutions will define this dark period, and many will be forced to choose between loyalty to God or the false ruler. Those who resist his rule will face severe persecution, while those who submit will live under an illusory peace. The Antichrist will use fear and suffering to manipulate people and further solidify his power. It will be a time of darkness and deceit, where truth will be distorted in every possible way. However, even in this time of chaos, there will be those who refuse to bow down. These will be the ones who recognize the true enemy and refuse to accept his lies. Resistance will be led by those who hold fast to their faith and loyalty to God, knowing that the final victory will be theirs. The Antichrist, no matter how powerful he seems, cannot escape his ultimate defeat. The critical point here is that many will be deceived by the facade of goodness, but the faithful will discern the truth from the deception. What makes the Antichrist so dangerous is his ability to disguise himself as light, deceive the masses, and use people's desperation to his advantage. He is the ultimate deceiver, who will stop at nothing to lead humanity astray from God's path. The question we all must ask ourselves is, will we be able to recognize the Antichrist when he rises? Will we be prepared to resist his rule and his lies? Or will we be among those seduced by his power? This is a reflection that becomes more urgent as we face the times we live in. The final judgment, as described in the Bible, is the moment when all people from all eras will stand before God to be judged for their lives. This event will mark the end of human history as we know it and the beginning of a new era. Imagine millions of souls gathered in a vast heavenly court where nothing will remain hidden. Every action, thought, and intention will be brought to light. This judgment is not just about justice, but about the restoration of what has been broken. God as the judge will reveal the true character of each person. For many, the final judgment is a moment of fear, as it symbolizes the confrontation with every choice made throughout life. Those who chose to live according to God's principles will receive their rewards, while those who rejected His grace will face the consequences of their actions. It is the moment when good will be rewarded and evil will be completely destroyed. On that day, there will be no room for excuses or secrets. Everything will be revealed, and each one will be judged according to their own conscience and the opportunities they had to draw closer to God. But the final judgment also brings the hope of a new creation. After the judgment, God promises to renew everything that was corrupted by sin. The current creation, marked by pain, suffering, and death, will give way to a new heaven and a new earth. This new reality will be a place of peace and justice where there will be no more tears, sickness, or death. God's promise is that the old order of things will pass away, and a new order will be established where He will reign forever with His people. This will be the final destiny of those who remain faithful to the end. The new heaven and new earth represent the fulfillment of God's original purpose for humanity and creation. Everything lost in the Garden of Eden will be restored, but on an even greater scale. God will dwell among His people, and the harmony between creation and the Creator will be perfect. There will be no more pain because sin, the cause of all suffering, will have been eliminated. Those who inherit this new creation will be the ones who trusted in God and persevered, even amid life's trials and tribulations. The final message of judgment and new creation is one of renewal and hope. Though the final judgment may seem frightening to many, it marks the beginning of an era of eternal peace for those who chose to follow God. The new heaven and new earth are not just a reward, but the complete fulfillment of the divine promise. They symbolize the ultimate victory of good over evil and the restoration of all that was broken. The question that remains is, are you prepared for this judgment and to inherit this new creation? Now that you've uncovered what many try to hide, the question remains, what will you do with this information? The truth is before us, but only those willing to see beyond the signs will be prepared. And if you want to keep diving into this world of revelations, don't miss the playlist on the journey of Abraham. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss new content that could change the way you see the world.